Here's my audience. Which way does the camera go? Okay. And I'll just sit this right here between me. Good evening. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day and listening to my speech. My name is Jillian Quillen, and I'm a bit of an expert on how to make gift bows, as you see here. I have some examples that I made earlier. I learned how to make gift bows when I was a child because my mother knew how to make them, and she spent an inordinate amount of time making them for our family members. She learned from her grandmother, who was actually a gift wrapper at Macy's. Before we get started, here's some things you're going to need. First of all, you're going to need ribbon, any kind you like basically. I have two different types with me, scissors, and then a trash can, or in my case a garbage bag, and optionally tape. You might be wondering, why is it important to be able to make gift bows? Can't I just buy them at the store? Well, yes you can, but how can you make your presents look a lot better? You can match any of your gift wrap to ribbons if you go out and buy your own ribbon. And the presentation of your gifts really makes your gifts that much better. So let's get started. First we'll start with this bigger pink ribbon. It has wire edges. That can be helpful in the beginning, but it can get a little bit tiresome if they travel in the car. As you can see, they get kind of smushed. The first thing you're going to want to do is make a loop. Now if you're a beginner, you're going to want to tape this loop. I don't normally do this anymore, but for the purpose of this presentation, I will. Now, you can make as many loops as you want. The bigger your loop, the bigger the bow is obviously going to be. In this case, I'm going to make about 6 loops because this ribbon's kind of thick and it will be too thick to cut if I make any more than that. Now, after you have your loops, go ahead and flatten it out. Now you can see it's flat. And cut it. Don't worry about how you cut it. We'll talk about that in a minute. Next, you're going to take about 4 to 6 inches of ribbon and cut that off as well. After you've cut that, go ahead and set it aside for a minute. Now, I'm going to prepare my trash bag for the next step. Now, trash bags are always funky to work with. You never know which end's going to open. Okay, so after you have your disposal so you don't make a mess in that, you fold your ribbon in half. As you can see, this ribbon's pretty thick, so I want to be able to cut through it if I fold it in half. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it flat, but if you do keep it folded in half, you cut a side angled notch out of that. Can everyone see that? Okay, good. But as I said, if your ribbon's too thick, you can go ahead and cut a V out in the center. And this ribbon might be even too thick for that, so go ahead and cut it by the layers. Do you all understand this so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Whoops, didn't get a little. Next, go ahead and do that to the other side. And you want to do it at the exact same length on the ribbon as you did the other side, so that they're kind of even. Though this part is not the most important because you will not see it when you make your ribbon. Next, once you have these lovely notches cut out, you're going to take your ribbon and tie it around the center. Make sure it's tight, because if this comes undone, your whole ribbon will be ruined, and that's sad. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to take the top layer, pull up, and twist. Can you all see how this forms a loop? Now you're going to do the exact same thing, but start with the bottom. Pull up, twist, and form your loop. As you can see, this doesn't take very long if you know what you're doing, and it's going to add a lot of pizzazz to your gifts. And there we go. There's a bow. As you can see, some of the ribbons are not looking the best as they could. You can individually fluff them out so it looks as good as you want. Now that we have our ribbon, you might be wondering, how do I attach this to my present? Well, if you already have other ribbons on your present, you can take the 2 extras and tie it to the ribbon. If that isn't how you're wrapping your present, you can make a circle shape and stick it on your gift like so. Lastly, you can use hot glue, but I recommend using a low heat setting because you can ruin your ribbon. Some helpful tricks are always making sure you have sharp scissors, buying your ribbon when it's on sale, such as after Christmas or at Hobby Lobby every other week, and if you want to get really intricate, you can combine 2 different types of ribbon. Does anybody have any questions?
No.
Well, thank you for your time. Should that stop it?
I don't know. Okay.
Oh no.
What?
We'll cut that. And here's my audience at the end. They didn't leave me.